Guys, I'm such a little marvel of the modern age. This is an introduction before the introduction, because I'm gonna babble, but what actually turns out in this video is more about tiny little tips and tricks about Resonite and how to add components and stuff. I'm just kind of hanging out, but it is actually more useful than I make it sound, and then it's less useful by the end. So stick around, but ignore the next 2 minutes, because I just kind of babble and I'm accidentally lying because I talk more about Resonite than I thought I would. Hello and welcome to another fantastic Resonite log. I was going to have other plans for what to film today, and I will be filming that other thing probably. But I joined this world because I was like, what's going to have good lighting? And I was like, actually, this world is just a hoot and a holler. I don't know if you can hear the party, but there is totally a party and not a people party. That's just not what I'm up to today. But it's like a cool little beach tropical house, but it's actually the vibes are so excellent that I thought we would just hang out in this world for a little bit and talk a bit more about Resonite and a little bit of what my thoughts are on it, and we're just gonna kind of hang out for this video. So if you want to hang out, we're happy, and then if you don't want to hang out, then we're still happy because I'm hanging out and I don't even, whatever, get out of here. So in a strange way, when you enter the world, you start on that dock, and that's kind of where I feel like starting this little journey, to give you a little heads up of what to expect in Resonite. Ooh, doop. Hey, look at you go. Alright, so what's happening... Come here, camera. Behave. So, the thing is, when you spawn on this little, dock, right? But whatever material they made the wood out of, it is, the last thing to load into Resonite. So you'll say oh yeah, the beach is happening or whatever, and then you just kind of start falling through the wood, and you're like, well, that's a disappointment to me. And you try to go forward up the beach because you see the wood, but you can't. And it looks like where the wood is going to go when you put wood in there, and there's no wood yet. And so then you fall through what is going to be the wood, and then you have to you're on the beach. But if you go the wrong direction because you're still not very good at controlling Resonite, then you go backwards, but then there's no you just fall off the map, and you're like, ah. Then you have to wait for the world to load because you respawn, but then you fall through the deck again. And then if you're not very good at Resonite, you're going to do that 2 times, and then you're going to just sit very quiet, very still, and then after everything loads, then it's going to be okay. And it can feel like it takes a while to load, and I don't know what's going on under the hood exactly that some worlds load faster than others. That's something to expect when you log into Resonite, is sometimes you're going to be falling through wood, and the big thing to do there is to giggle and be like, silly wood, instead of being like, oh my god, I just want to play Resonite. So that's just like when you're loading into worlds, be careful with that. And we're gonna go back to the framing that I liked a lot. Come to me. I'm the more important one, not... Okay, here. The scenery is less important than me. That's good enough. What do you know? Okay, so the other thing I really feel like touching on, and it's a strange one, so bear with me. And it is this thing. So I found a secret button that renders the private UI, which is something I needed 2 videos ago, so we're excited about that. So this little menu, when you spawn the camera, this little menu also spawns. And I didn't know what to do with this menu, and unless you have it set up in a very certain way, a lot of the times if you close this menu, then you close the camera. And that's a bummer because I want to use the camera, but this menu is really in my way. And I think you can kind of see, when I move my head, this menu a little bit also automatically moves, and I think this is the only thing in Resonite that does that, and this makes me super motion sick. So one of the things that really bothered me with Resonite is what the heck even is this thing? So I talked with one of the streamers of Resonite named Crowned Haley, super sweet, and their tip, when I brought up the camera thing, and oh yeah, you just gotta yeet it. That's what they do, and I was like, wait, what? And so let me unyeet this. So they were like, yeah, just take this thing, because if you close it, the camera closes, and Haley didn't say it that way, but that's how I said it just now. And so their solution is to take it, so I'm going to simulate it, okay? We're going to go this way. Woo! And just yeet it into Timbuktu. But you aim it up into the sky. Yeet. And if you end up needing that, you spawn it again, and if you don't need it, it's out of the way. What? So Resonite is still, being developed, and lots of quality of life features are being added all of the time. And that's why it's so important to play Resonite socially, is because if I was trying to figure out on my own, I would never have known that, to the best of my ability, not only is there not a way to stop that window from rotating in a really motion sicky kind of way, but some solutions are you have to yeet a menu into the sky. And either Crowned Haley does it that way, or that's just how everyone does it that way. I don't know, and I don't like it, but now that I know about it, I was like, Resonite, it's so quirky, and actually what's happening is, it's just, it's still being developed, and that's totally fine, but you have to play socially in order to understand that some things just, you have to yeet it to the sky, and there's not a solution you would typically expect there to be. And I feel like some of the controls are a little bit that way, and how some of like the objects can tend to work is some of that way. Certainly the dev tooltip. There's a lot of things in Resonite that are a little bit fickle like that you wouldn't expect this is how you do it, or some things you would expect to be features are not yet features, so you have to kind of do some workarounds. And that's probably, aside from like being social, being fun theoretically, and that's still something I'm learning, but there's a reason to be social in Resonite, and it's, for me, the menu thing, and learning objects thing, and knowing when you have to yeet something into the sky is very important. So make sure you play Resonite with people so that you know when you have to yeet objects into the sky. Ooh. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the bedroom appreciation space. We're going to raise that camera up. I don't actually even have anything I want to say in this room. I just like this room a lot. They did a great job. Look at how atmospheric this is. And I guess this world, and you're going to come inside with me a little bit. So I guess that this world was made for a VR chat, and in the description is like where it came originally and someone brought it into Resonite, so there's 2 credits for this world. But they did such a gosh darn good job, and I feel like such a little party boy, but a tropical kind, and this room is super cool, so we're just going to appreciate it for a second. Good room. Also, fun fact, you are going to come to me once more. Gosh, this laser is the coolest thing in the world. I feel like it's not even a selfie stick, it's just a powerful laser. This is a tray of what appears to be alcohol and a few candles, and I have a deep interest in closer examining this tray of alcohol, and I cannot examine the tray of alcohol. It's not grabbable, it's just part of the world, I guess, but I think I can change that. So let's go together and see if I can change that, because I have a vested interest in getting closer to that tray of alcohol, and I could go to it, but this is the future. This is Resonite. I'm not a caveman. I spent thousands of dollars in virtual reality gear. I want the tray to come to me. And last time I talked through this, I didn't have private UI menu, so let's figure out how to get the tray to work together. That's going to be such a fun thing to do inside of this tropical house. How are you going to best be able to see that? Is that good framing? Yeah, that's okay. Usually you won't have a little camera for yourself. I just kind of put that there. I can customize that. There's loads of ways to customize this stuff, so just ignore that for a second. But you go to Inventory, and then you go to your main inventory, and then you have to sort through all of your folders up on top that you didn't organize very well when you went to a library, and you're like, oh, I will have one of all of these public folders that have different toys I can play with, or assets and stuff like that. And so if I made something, you could be like, oh, what Phineas Former's public folder, it's the best folder, and it would just have trays of alcohol, probably. So you have to sort through all of these, you have to look at every single one of these useless folders that you imported into your main directory that they even told you not to do that, and you're like, I'll figure it out later. I haven't not yet figured it out later, so I implore you to figure it out then. So you have to look through all of your folders and find Resonite Essentials, which everyone starts with. You have to go to Tools, and you have to go to Dev Tip. And that's how you're going to be able to add the component that we need in order to grab the tray of alcohol, which we need. You use your laser to grab something, and when you zoop it all the way into you, you automatically hold the laser. You point, and ooh, it's working, I think it's working. I normally don't see those little purple knobbies, so let's see what that even is. But that is, I had it selected, which on the Quest is you press in on the thumbstick, and every controller has a slightly different layout, so you have to be a little bit careful. But that's going to be your secondary button, whichever it is for you on your controller. And on the Quest, it shares you either jump, or if you have a dev tip equipped and a few other things also, it turns into the secondary button instead. So you have to be a little careful with that. The controls can take a while to get used to. So the secondary button highlights something. Then you open your context menu, and you have to go to Open Inspector, which opens up an inspector window on the thing that you highlighted. And if you keep it highlighted, you're going to accidentally highlight this, highlight other stuff, highlight the world, and then move the world, and then you fall, and then you try to blame someone else because you're a little bitch. And then when you're editing the video, you're like, okay, I was a little bitch about this part. And then you own up to it because I've been playing Resonite for hardly at all, and I once moved the entire world away from me and then got really mad at someone else for a second. So I try to deselect things when I'm done doing it, and I think I'm the only one on Planet Resonite with that problem. And if you want to deselect something, as far as I understand it, you have to open the context menu and just I deselect all, so now there's not going to be any problems. And so now let's find out if I can add a movable thing so I can grab this. And so first of all, if I'm not mistaken, this might be like maybe I accidentally only selected the bottle, but I want to have selected the entire extravaganza. And so up here says tray variant, but I want to make sure I'm selecting the entire object. And if it's an avatar or something, maybe I accidentally only selected the arm, and I want to actually work on the whole avatar. So that's one of these buttons up here, is what's going to go all the way to the root. And as it turns out, I think... Alright, yeah, this world was just done a little bit differently, and so that what I just did is useless, probably because it was imported from VRChat or something. So it's not going to work all the time, and we're going to delete that because I have... Oh wait, there's an undo button. Is there an undo button? Not really. Alright, so it's not... What did I do? What did I do? Oh, what did I even do? Mirror to display, manual, yeet into the sky, close this out, camera's there, and make sure that my recording is still happy, and it seems to still be happy. Alright, let's open the inspector window again. So if I'm not completely mistaken, the one thing that this object is really missing is simply the grabbable component. Problem is, and the reason I know that is because I looked at some of the things that I can grab, and I was like, they have something that's called grabbable. And I looked at the thing I could not grab, and I was like, this thing does not have grabbable on it. Maybe I'm onto something, and I was. Problem is, grabbable is all over. I have no idea where grabbable is. There's like a million bazillion of these. Can you see? This is all the choices I have. There's like a million bazillion, and then you go into one, and I was like, interaction only has one, that's lame. But some of these, common UI, what? And then you just go into one, and there's like options, and there's a million zillion, and it's like, what even am I looking for here? And there's an app for that. It's not even an app though, really, it's just a new little thing. Let me show you. Alright, hopefully, are we here? Yes. Hopefully you can see that okay. I was looking up tutorials online and stuff because I was so upset with not knowing where any of this garbage is when I'm trying to build stuff in Resonite. And I found this, I got it from the internet, and it's another one of those public folders I told you about. And this is Euclop's Component Searcher, which helps me a lot, because I want to find out where the heck grabbable is, because in this one, there is so many gosh darn options. I'm not going to look through all of those for grabbable. Euclop did it for me. Oh, and then this is the keyboard in Resonite, which you can see. And I'm not very good at using it yet, and it bothers me. And I think other people are better at using it than I am. Maybe I'll get better at using it in time. That's something to look forward to in Resonite, is being like, this keyboard is inadequate. The answer is yes, but also it's in VR, so there's limitations. So just that's how the keyboard is. And I just found out just now that grabbable is under transform, under interaction. So now we're going to go here in our components list, and go to transform, and go to interaction, and we're going to get our grabbable. Alright, and then you could see off in the side, it's probably a little hard to see, that added a grabbable thing. And so now, let's see if I did my math correctly. Let's move all of this nonsense. Moment of truth, moment of truth. Oh my god, what? I'm so handsome. I'm so handsome and smart. Look at all of this alcohol. This is a prop in the world that didn't do anything. I tried touching it and it didn't touch anything. And I was like, I just want to touch this. I want the alcohol to come to me. This is the future. I want the alcohol and candle tray? Candles for some reason. Candles on my alcohol tray. But it's atmospheric and it's very cabana of us here at this cabana wonderland. So yes, you can... That's basically the process. Anything in Resonite that I like, I was like, I would like it much more if I could grab it And so you can go through all of the steps I just showed you. It's very complicated, but really when you get the hang of it, it's just like, hey, this is how I do stuff in Resonite, and it's not a big deal. It feels like a big deal, but it's not, I promise. And then I can just be like, I want to customize this, and then I can grab it, and I can do whatever I want to it, except for throw it. I think there might be like a throw this component. I don't even know that. That's too advanced for me. That's what it's like building stuff in Resonite and manipulating objects a little bit. And I think that's going to be it for this video, actually. We didn't spend much time exploring the island. And I want these videos to be a little bit of everything, right? So we talked a lot about Resonite, and we explored the island like a little bit, but most of what we did was just come to the bedroom, and then I got distracted by the tray of alcohol that I really, really wanted. So we're going to go, actually, because over here... Oh, wait. I'm going to real quick, so correct the camera positioning. And I still have my dev tip equipped, which is dangerous because if you're not careful, you'll accidentally select the world and then move it around and get mad at the wrong person. So I'm going to unequip it because I don't trust myself with that power. Also, fun fact, and then we're going to be done talking about Resonite and we're going to go explore a little bit, and then we'll close out the video. But for immersion purposes, there's a way to turn off the laser on your little context menu that pops up. Turn off laser enabled, and now no more laser. So I'm not advanced, and I can't, like, bring the camera to me, but if I kept destroying the world on accident, it's like, okay, Phineas, you're on timeout. Or maybe if I was, like, ever drunk, and don't ever be drunk and be irresponsible with thousands of dollars of VR equipment, you lunatics. You can turn off the laser, and that might be, like, immersion mode, or just safety, don't destroy the world mode. But I like having the camera... Oh, that was the worst thing I've done all day. So yes, we have this, and now... We're gonna go explore the world and be done talking about Resonite, and we're just gonna like hang out in VR for like 2 seconds, and then the video's gonna be done. Yeah. Whoop. And I'm not very good at holding the camera all of the time. Okay. And I never utilize my play space as much as I do when I'm in Resonite, because I don't know the camera very well. So I'm like bumping into walls and stuff all the time in Resonite. It's kind of a blast. I'm just really glad that my roommate's not home to judge me right now. So over there, you can see there's a giant little house. And I have not been inside of that house. So we're going to go over to that house and look around, and I'll be like, wow, this is such a house. And then we're going to be done. Whoop. Hey. The other thing with the laser is sometimes it can be hard to aim very well, and I think I'm the only one on Planet Resonite with that problem. But I aimed super good from all the way over there. That's done though, because now I'm going to hold the camera and we're going to go inside. Part of why I like this world is because the vibes are immaculate. And part of why I like Resonite is the vibes are immaculate. Because I could make this, and I have. In one of the other videos, I started making a little house on the beach, and I put out 4 chairs and 1 table, and then a couch and a TV over somewhere else because I knew I would need those, and then I got bored of it. But you can build stuff even within Resonite, or you can build stuff in Blender and then just import the entire like world at a time. But you could also spawn out individual objects. You can do a whole bunch with Resonite. So if I wanted some immaculate vibes of my own, I could just make that. I can generate vibes. And then other people can generate vibes. And one of my more favorite memories is I hung out with a man named Fault. Faulty? Yeah, Faulty, one of the earlier people that I hung out with. And he added me as a friend, and I was like, oh, what? That's so cool. Friends in Resonite, what? And so I joined his world because he was on Sociable, which is something you can do in Resonite, where you can say, hey, friends, come visit me. And so I visited Faulty in his fishbowl, which is his private little world. It was full of vibes, because he's a little vibe lord, and he's just, this is my virtual house where I want to hang out virtually. And he showed me around his little house, and it was full of good vibes. So you can just kind of make those in Resonite, and I'm not very good at doing that yet. Someday I will be. But yeah, that's what you can do with Resonite, is you can make immaculate vibes, like this house, or I guess someone made this house in VR chat and then they brought it into Resonite, but you can just make this house straight in Resonite if you want. So I just feel like going up these stairs is the last part of my life. And then the video is going to be done. And I really... Whoop. Whoop. And I actually really don't care too much for bringing the camera with me I like how I do it, which is just I go and then we do it in installments. This is oh gosh dang it. What? Okay, fine, stop. Ooh, okay. See, I feel like... Stop. I feel like I'm the only human on planet Resonite who has all of these control issues. But if you have all those control issues too, I'm so sorry. But stick with it, because the vibes are immaculate. Anyway, as you can maybe see, the upstairs is... Okay, is it worth the wait? Yes. Yes, it is. And then there's also a few surfboards there in the background. So that is us, that's our life, that's this super duper cool world. The name's in the description. I highly recommend having parties here. I've never had a VR party, and I've never really even gone to one because people are hard. But then you got a little fire pit down there, and you could have all of your buddies and just be like, what, we're so tropical together. So if you care about this world, the link is in the description and stuff. And if you found any of my tips useful, I'm so happy for all of us. Yeah, so thanks for checking out my video. I hope you liked it, because I liked it a lot. It's time to go, though, because I have some other ideas of what to do today. So I'm going to make this, and I'm going to go on with my day, and I hope that you have a good day, too.